So let's give him a big round of applause, Mr. Curtis jaques. That's the promoter, by the way. You see that? He's about to crunch down on the promoter like, "Arr!" Right? So there you go.
Perfect. Thanks, Brian, for that little blue dinosaur for your son. Right? Correct? Awesome. Yes, that was actually a great picture. I'm really excited because tonight what we're going to do is we're going to change pace from what I talked about this morning. And what I want to do is I want to talk to you guys about how you guys can be more profitable. And I want you guys to take advantage of your job as not only a coordinator, but your job as a representative on your team. And the things that we're going to be talking about tonight is going to be booth location. And then we're also going to talk about negotiating prices with, obviously, the promoters. I think that these two topics are probably hands down the best topics to talk about because I think there's a lot of people in this room that are struggling with that. And there's a lot of things that you guys can learn about how to negotiate prices and how to find the right booth locations at your events. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about location, location, location. If you want to be profitable at your shows, you have to be really good at getting the best location at your shows, okay? You guys need to take ownership and responsibility for working with your promoter to choose your booth size and your booth location, okay? A lot of you I know probably in this room, what you do is you just send in the booking request to Olean, which they were talking about, and you guys don't tell them what booth location, what size of booth, or anything like that. So then they have to do all this extra paperwork to try to figure out, okay, do you want a corner booth? Do you want an inline? Do you want a 10 by 20? What kind of booth do you want? Okay, that should not be up to Olean to have to do that for you. You need to take the responsibility and do that work for them so that when you do the booking request, you can say, hey, we need a 10 by 10 corner. We would like it on row 400, and we want it right next to blah, 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 right? That way, when you guys talk to the promoter, they already know that, A, you scoped out their what? Their show. They know that you want to be a part of that show. And the thing that's nice about it too is that it really tells that promoter that you pay attention to what kind of event that they show, right? Or what kind of event they put on. So I think that it's very important that you guys take ownership of that and make sure that you guys are the ones that are actually looking for the booth locations and not making Olean pick them out for you. Because a lot of times what happens when you guys do this, you just send in a booking request, they're going to put you in any location that they want to put you in. And I guarantee you when you do that, they're going to shove you in the back corner. They're going to put you behind this big old like box thing. And then you get to your show and the first thing you go, oh my God, I don't like this spot. I'm going to go talk to the promoter. This is just crap, right? And then the thing is, then you start blaming Olean. Olean didn't book it right. They should have done this. They should have done that. Now, does that sound familiar? Yes, because I've heard a lot of you in this room do that, right? And the thing is, it's not up to the promoter to tell you where to put your booth, okay? And it's not up to Olean to do that either. If you're going to book something at the last minute, you get the last minute booth, okay? So what I'm going to be teaching today is what is a great location and getting great locations, okay? So the first thing that I have here is real life success examples. Okay, we wanted to get into the National Western Stock Show, which just finished a couple weeks ago in Denver. What we did is we just sent in the request to Olean. Olean booked it, and we were literally in a 10 by 10 underneath the grandstands. And literally, when people spilt their beer and their pop and their soda, it leaked down on our booth. Okay, and the thing is that we call it the stock show crud. That's where you get like deathly ill by the end of it because you're breathing in all the animal feces and crap like that, right? And the thing is that we just wanted to be in the show that we really didn't care. We just said, book it, book it, book it, right? We get in there, 2 weeks you have to take off. You're sitting there and like a llama like has projectile diarrhea on every booth around you. And you're sitting here going, wow, like I wish I would have known that this is where I was going to be put, right? And the thing is that year at that show, we sold $28,000, right? Which $28,000, a lot of you guys in this room are like, wow, that's a really good show, right? But the thing is that I had to go, okay, this is not working. It's not the promoter's fault. It's not Olean's fault. It's my fault because I just said, put me in the show because I want to be in there, right? So what we did is we went in, we sat down with the promoter, and we said, okay, just so you know, we sell $1,000 sets of knives, and our clientele is very high end, and a lot of them were very angry that we were downstairs in with the animals, and all the employees that work got really sick. Like, we spend a lot of money to be here. $1,200 is a lot for us, which we're going to talk about negotiating and stuff like that here in a minute. And I said, we've got to move. And the show promoter looked right at us and go, well, too bad. You're on a waiting list anyways to get in here. You guys are lucky you even made it into the show. And you guys are just going to sit there and wait to move up or move locations, right? So we're like, okay, we don't want to lose this show, right? So what did we do? We were in the same spot the next year. Same thing happened. We all got sick. We sold $30-some thousand. It wasn't very successful, right? So the thing is that the next year we literally went back in there, and now I know the promoter. I brought her some Cutco, gave it as a gift to her the year before. I said, I really want you to check out our product. I want you to know how it is. Well, the thing is, at Stock Show, they have the little questionnaires, so you can win $1,000 or $5,000 or whatever it is. So I told all my customers, please make a comment on those saying that you do not appreciate Cutco being downstairs underneath the grandstands, right? So when I go back in to find a different location, she goes, yeah, we had like 28 complaints about where your location was, like this wasn't good. So what happens, they move us into the Hall of Education, and now we're in Dirty Row 800. And the thing that's nice about it is that this year our show ended at like 76,000. Okay? So the thing is that just a change of where your booth location is makes a huge difference in your shows. So when you're thinking of booth locations and you're thinking about productive and being profitable, you've got to make sure that you guys are going and scoping out your shows. So the thing that I have here, the first thing, what is not a great location? A great location is not in the first row of the show. It's not the first booth in the show. Okay? It's not behind the spa people. Okay? It's not behind the people that have the huge walls up that are doing windows. Okay? It's not behind the guys that are doing the garage doors. Okay? And it's definitely not in the very, very back corner of the show where hardly anyone goes because the lights are dim and it's dark back there, right? And it feels like you're in the ghetto, right? So the thing is that you guys really got to pay attention to your shows. So why is it not to have those not great to have those locations? And I've heard it so many times where reps are like, yeah, we get this objection where people are like, oh, we just got here at the show. We'll be back. Okay? Well, if you're getting that objection, that means that you're in the wrong booth location. Okay? Which means you need to move your booth either down 4, or you need to move over a couple rows, or you need to really find out where the traffic flow is at. Okay? If you guys have some of these big shows and you know that these shows are like producing money, what you need to do is take 10 minutes out of the show and go look at where the people are congregating, okay? And then you need to make a note where those booth locations are so that you can move into those areas so that the next year your booth is A, more profitable, and B, more noticeable, okay? Because the more that people notice your booth, they're going to actually what? They're going to come to the booth, they're going to buy, they're going to be a wanted part of that booth location. So it's very important that you guys do that and you guys go out in your shows and take a look at it, okay? Same thing with our mall display. Our mall display was downstairs in the corner next to Nordstrom's, and we were only producing like 26,000, and it was just like, what's going on? Like, all these other malls are doing really well, and it's like, I can't have this, right? I'm too expensive to be sitting at this type of mall, right? And you guys know because of the hours that we work, it's like, no way. So the thing is that we took some time, we went and scoped out where the people are going. Well, we found out that if we're right outside of Williams-Sonoma, just down the hall a little bit, we'd probably be better than down in Nordstrom's next to the little airplane guy, right? And the thing is, we moved, and then what happened? Our booth started selling amazing, okay? So the thing that I have right here is getting great locations. First, you got to scout the events. there's certain things that you need to look for. Where's the bar? Where's the restroom? Where do people come into the show? And what side of the show do they go down? Okay? When people come into the show, if they come into the show and go to the right, that means that you don't want to be the first row on the right. You want to be 2 or 3 rows down from the right, okay? So that your customers, by the time they get to you, they're in the mood, they're ready to shop, they're ready to buy, okay? The reason why I say the bar or the restroom is if you could find a woman's restroom and you plant your booth where it's like women and it's boom, they come out of the bathroom like, oh, Cutco. And you're like, yeah, come on over. Did you wash your hands? Right? So the thing is that that's stuff that you got to look for, right? You got to research your events. You got to find out what's available. Ask for the floor plans. It's very important that you look for the floor plans. There's some shows where they have part of the show going on, and then the show leaves after the weekend, and then they have the rest of the show that goes on that week, and then the weekend comes back. You don't want to get caught in one of those kind of shows, okay? And then what you need to do is you need to know how to have a why conversation with the promoter about the location. You need to talk to them about the value that we bring, right? Because how many of you guys know that when we go to shows, other vendors always want to be next to what booth? The Cutco booth. And why do they want to be by the Cutco booth? Because they know that if Mrs. Jones is spending $100 on a Santoku knife, that they're going to probably buy whatever $20 trinket that they have, right? And have you ever noticed they're all like, oh, they just finished the Cutco booth. Hi, ma'am, how are you? And you're all like, oh, right? And the thing is that you guys got to notice that you guys have to have the conversations with your promoters and tell them, hey, I'm telling you, I've been doing this 12 years. We get into shows and literally people fight over where our location is and they want to be around us. And you know why they do that? Is because we actually advertise for your show, we have high-end clientele, and we take care of our customers because we have great customer service, right? So it's another conversation that when you're with the promoter, you can talk to them about it. So that goes right into our next thing, which is price negotiation, okay? Negotiating price is an easy thing, okay? Most of you guys don't know that most of the promoters, their prices are negotiable. Have you guys ever been to a show where someone goes, hey, how much did you guys pay for your booth? That means that they know that there's a price negotiation that happened because, oh, she got $600 over there, she paid $1,300 over there, she paid $450 over there, and the lady that's hand making her own rock art over here only paid $150, right? And the thing is that if you guys don't understand that every show is negotiable, right, you can't negotiate prices, okay? So have that in the back of your mind that every single show promoter allows you to negotiate, especially when you guys are looking for new events. This is very important, okay? When you guys are looking for new events, you have to negotiate price. Because if you just send in a booking request to Olean, they're going to book it and then they're going to go, oh, it's a corporation, charge them, charge them, charge them, okay? And I know this firsthand because there's been many times where we go to an event and it's $2,000 and I'm like, we paid $2,000 for this? No. There's no way, right? And then you start asking, oh, you only paid $350? Oh, we just got had, right? And the reason why is because one, you never even asked or thought to ask and you just had Olean book it, okay? If it's a new event, you got to make sure that you guys are negotiating the price, okay? You got to understand how to effectively position yourself and your team as a long-term business for them and something that they want in their events from then on out, okay? Did you guys get that? So what we're going to do is we're going to talk to the promoter about understanding the value of Cutco. So write that down. Understanding your value, okay? And then we're going to talk about the pain points. Okay, and pain points, you guys will understand this here in a minute. And then the negotiation and how to do the negotiation correctly. So the first one is understanding your value. You got to make sure that when you're talking to the promoter, you talk to them as we are local entrepreneurs, okay? We are local entrepreneurs. We're not big business, okay? This is a long-term product which has a huge service aspect behind it. Okay, so write that down. long-term product that has a huge service aspect that goes behind it. Okay? This is a product that is a community-satisfied product. Okay? So what that means is that the community requests our product at shows. Have you guys ever noticed that where people are like, oh, Cutco's here? When did you guys start coming here? We've been doing it for 9 years. And they're like, I've never seen you. Yeah, we're the #1 requested item at the show. Of course we have a booth, right? So have that in your mindset, right? So you got to also tell them that everybody loves to come to see us, and everybody that owns our product absolutely loves it. You need to talk about our service program that we provide to our customers, and that we actually communicate with our customers to come to the booth and to see our product. The reason why that's important is because if they know that we're promoting their show for them, it's a win-win for them. Because the more people they get in that door, the less, complaints that they get from the other vendors. Oh, you said 10,000 people came. I didn't even see 2 walk through the door, right? Well, guess what? The Cutco booth had over 200 people at it, so I don't know what you're complaining about, right? So you need to talk about that we have communication plans where we actually drive traffic to our events and to our shows, okay? Which is a win for you, and it's a win for us and all the vendors around us. Now, the reason why I say that is because you're going to tell them this when you guys are going through the value of who we are and what we do. We need to also say that we've been in business since 1940 and that we're a 100% American-made product when it comes to our knives. And we want to build a relationship with you because we build amazing relationships with our customers. Okay? That right there tells them the value of who we are and what we provide as a company. Okay? After we have that conversation with them, then what we do is we go into understanding our pain points. Okay? Now, when I say our pain points, this is very important that you guys write this down because when you're negotiating a price, you need to make sure that you know and the person, the event coordinator, knows exactly where we come from. Okay? And the first pain point that I put on here is that we are not corporate. Okay? When I say not corporate, I'm not dissing Cutco Corporation. I'm just saying that Cutco fronts us the money so that we can be in the event. But after our event is over, we have to pay Cutco back for being at the booth. That's a pain point, right? So we tell that to the customer or to the promoters, okay? We tell them straight up, just so you know, we're not corporate, we're the Cutco representatives. They pay for it up front, but what we have to do is pay them back after our show is done. And then what we do is we tell them about it, right? And what I tell them, we mostly work with students who work on commission, okay? So we work on commission with students, and they have to pay for the event regardless of selling or not selling at the booth, okay? So you let the promoter know, if we don't sell anything at the booth, we make no money, and we still have to pay Cutco back. So it's very important that you understand that we have a lot of skin in the game, okay? And we need you to help us out because we have to make sure that our customers that our reps are taken care of on our team as well. Okay? Right here. Yep. We mostly work with college students who work on commission and have to pay for their event regardless of the sales that they produce, is what I wrote down. I also say this is the first time that we're going to be doing your event, and this is a huge risk to not only me as a coordinator, but a huge risk to my teammates. And I do not want to put someone in the show that doesn't make any money, because if I put someone in the show that doesn't make any money, I lose an employee, and Cutco loses an employee as well. So we can't have that. So after you talk about the pain points with them, then what ends up happening is then the negotiation happens. So this is the third part, the negotiation happens. So you cover step number 1, which is understanding our value as a company and our value as the representative that's working. And then the second thing that we do is we go over the pain points with them, getting them to understand that. And then now what we do is, now that they know where we are coming from, all you do is simply ask. And this is what you ask. Would you be willing to work with us on the price for the first year or 2 until we know how it's going to go? Because if they know that we want to come into their show and we're kind of iffy about getting into the event because we don't know how it's going to go, they're definitely going to negotiate the price with us. Okay? And knowing that A, we have to pay back Cutco for it. B, we have students that work for us. We have a lot of upfront cost before we come into this event. So to repeat that again, would you be willing to work with us on the price the first year or 2 until we know how it is going or how it is going to go? And the reason why I say this is because if you say that, they're going to say yes most of the time, because they seek the understanding of where we're coming from and what we're trying to accomplish here. Then what we do is that if they say no, they still will negotiate and find a middle ground with us and try to work out something for us. Okay? If they go, well, we really can't negotiate on price. Okay, well, if you can't negotiate on price, can you put us in a prime location, or can you do something to help me out so that I can actually go back to my team and say, this is a prospective show that we want to get into, but we really need help from you as the promoter. Now, what we also do too is if they don't want to negotiate, we're like, I just straight up say, well, just so you know, I'm the event coordinator in Colorado, and I have a list of over 20,000 customers that have emails and contact information that lives right in the local area of this show. And I know that you guys are trying to drive people to this show. All it does is take one click of a button on an email, and we can solicit to this show like you wouldn't believe. Right? And they're like, you could do that? And it's funny because when you're sitting there and you're having conversations, you're like, you'd really do that for us? Yeah, if you want us to send postcards, letters, emails, what do you want us to do? I mean, if you give us some free tickets, we'll definitely drive people to the booth, right? Because guess what? People that buy our product, that's, thousands of dollars of the product, our average customer spends $300 with us at the booth every time they see us. Those are the type of clientele that you want in your show, right? And they're like, yes. Okay, well, let's figure out a middle ground here. Do you want to give us 100 free tickets? Do you want to, you know what I mean? And the thing is that if you guys negotiate with them and talk to them and take the time with them, one, it builds amazing relationships with that promoter where literally they walk around and you're like, hey, Kathy, how are you? And she's like, oh, I'm doing great. How's the Cutco booth doing? Oh, I hope you guys are doing so well. I hope you guys hit your quota. Let me know if you have any questions or anything like that, right? I literally have promoters that bring us over lunch, okay? Because they're like, oh, we brought you guys some lunch. We want you guys to be happy. We want to make sure that you guys are doing well at the show. Oh, thank you so much. It means so much that you guys care about us, right? So have those great relationships. So it's all about what? Location, location, location. And the second thing is, if you want lower prices on your booth, you've got to negotiate and you've got to take the time for yourself to make your events more profitable. Thanks, guys.